What's up, all you Minties? This is the Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition, and join me today for an overview of the Hellboy Universe and the Hellboy B.P.R.D. 1952 to 1954 hardcovers from Dark Horse Comics. So, let's get started. Welcome back, everybody. Before getting started, a huge thank you to Dying Breed Collectors for sending us both copies of these hardcovers. And both of these hardcovers were published by Dark Horse Comics and fit into the chronological order of the Hellboy universe. So, for me at least, the Hellboy and the B.P.R.D. 1952 to 1954 definitely fits in right after B.P.R.D. 1946 to 1948, and right before Plague of Frogs. Of course, that is in chronological order, not publishing order. As far as the Hellboy Secret Histories, as far as the Hellboy Universe Secret Histories, that could be read really any time after reading at least a few volumes of the Hellboy. I think it's a lot more fun to have the mystery, but let's talk about one of these at a time. Let's look at the B.P.R.D. 1952 to 1954 a little bit closer. So here we have the latest Hellboy in the B.P.R.D. based on the latest series, 1952, then there was a 1953 and a 54 follow-up series. This book retails for $39.99. And I'll talk about why I put it right before the Plague of Frogs stories here in a minute. But let's look underneath the dust jacket. And then the back here. Do love the fact that they're using this foil stamp here for Hellboy and the B.P.R.D. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this open. We have those black bookend pages. Hellboy and the B.P.R.D. 1952 to 1954. And then, of course, all the credits here as to who the writers are. And really excited to see this particular name here, Alex Maleev. Now, this is a series I hadn't read yet. It wasn't until I got the books in, again from Dying Breed Collectors, Mike Mignola writing an introduction, that I actually opened it up and started reading these particular stories. Not just these in here, but also the ones from the Hellboy universe. So, when did these stories take place? And this is the fun part, because all of this takes place before the Plague of Frogs, before Hell on Earth. So much so that this very first story in 1952 is Hellboy's first mission, where he goes by himself to Brazil. Well, not by himself, but you'll see. But yes, this is the first mission that he gets sent on, so this is still when he's young. It's after he appeared, of course, as a young little boy. So we do get a little bit of a flashback here where we first find Hellboy. And yes, later on when he becomes a teenager, and he becomes, well, quote-unquote an adult, whatever that is for creatures like him, he decides to join the Bureau for Paranormal Research and Defense. So, his first mission, going to Brazil. Demon monkeys, alligators that can talk. This one's a lot of fun. Interesting to see Alex Maleev draw this particular, story. I never thought of Alex Maleev, but his art style definitely has a dark tone to it. I'm not really sure how I felt about it, and I know it's not a review of the book, because I'm so used to just, there's a certain feel and look to a Hellboy artist. And while Maleev is amazing, I don't know if he quite captures exactly what I wanted out of this particular story. But don't get me wrong, it's still solid. And it's still Alex Maleev, the same guy that did Daredevil with Brian Michael Bendis. That kind of put him on the map for a lot of people. And then we move to 1953. And 1953 is a series of different stories, some of them taking place in England. And I really like some of the stories in here. I think this is a really sweet story between him. It's basically the relationship between father and son. So it's between Hellboy and Professor Brutenholm. So I thought this was a really cool way of just throwing also the occult in there, but showing their relationship. And then, like I said, the series of just different stories in there. And then we get 1954, which starts off with this Arctic expedition. Oh, where is it? There we go. This Arctic expedition that calls Hellboy up to investigate something that's going around killing people. Is it a polar bear or is it something else? And then we get a couple of other little short stories back here too. In the back, as always, with these hardcovers, we get this beautiful extras. Sorry, I'm a huge fan of Paulo Rivera, and these were some commission pieces he did for conventions. But you get character sketches, breakdowns of pages. Sometimes they throw the script in here. Sometimes they throw the art progress, the cover layouts. pinups, commission sketches is what I love when they put in here. So this is a must for anybody that's been getting this particular format, the hardcover format. Eventually, I think they'll probably release this in softcover edition, and they hardly ever... Actually, I don't think they've ever reprinted any of the B.P.R.D. hardcovers. I really hope one day that they will. We have so many new people interested in these type of books. This particular book here has 440 pages, again retailing for $39.99, just showing what the sewn binding looks like with that eye down there. And as far as the paper quality, it is exactly the same like the other B.P.R.D. hardcovers. The only difference I noticed, and this is just on my copy, on my dust jacket spine, it looked like it was caving in a little bit. I don't know what exactly happened, but this is the way it came in. It came sealed in plastic, but yeah, not that that's a big deal to me, but I think it's just my copy. All right, let's move on. So here we have Hellboy Universe. Again, this one came out in June. Here's what the spine looks like on the dust jacket. And then the back of the book here. This one retails for $39.99 as well. Now, under the dust jacket, we have a very similar foil stamp there for the Hellboy Universe and Secret Histories. And the Dark Horse logo on the bottom and nothing really on the back. So, let's get this open and start looking at it. The Secret Histories. So, this is an interesting collection because while we have the Hellboy flashback with the B.P.R.D. years, 1952 to 1954, this is more of filling in the blanks of all these mysterious people or mysterious equipment that have shown up throughout the stories of Hellboy. One such is the character that was there present for Hellboy when he first appeared, who looked like an alien. He was just in the background with the Nazis. So I thought that was interesting. That's the only one I've read through here, so I haven't read the other stories that are collected in here. I know some of them have to do with Rasputin, but the one that I've read it came out in trade paperback a few years ago, or a couple of years ago rather, and that's this story right here, The Visitor, How and Why He Stayed. So this is split up into 5 different chapters because there were 5 issues originally. There's also the Sledgehammer 44 story in here and The Voice of the Dragon, and with some other little mini stories in here. But this is all about that particular alien that was just drawn into the background. I think sometimes Mignola just wanted to add some weird elements to these pictures and stories. Didn't really want to explain. And I almost like that a little bit. I like the fact that we don't have an explanation for these things. But what his new co-writer did was go back and start writing some of these stories. And actually, he talks a little bit about it here in his introduction. Yeah. So Chris Robertson, he's one of the co-writers, and he's been co-writing some of the Hellboy and the B.P.R.D. comics. He talks about finding the Hellboy comic at a comic store when he was a kid, or younger. I'm not sure how old he is. And now writing these stories, and why these stories are important. So just showcasing some of the artwork, because we are joined by different artists. Towards the beginning, you saw the table of contents here. It tells you the different stories that are collected through here. And then your credits. I totally skipped that to get right to the Visitor storyline. But your credits here, the writers, and of course, the artist who helped do this. Paul Grist, that's the artist that did this. In the back, and this is the only one I've read so far, I have not read Sledgehammer or The Voice of the Dragon yet. In the back, here we have some settings, some sketches, some references, layouts, original artwork, pinups, posters. You know, you definitely get your bang for the buck here in all these Dark Horse hardcover editions when it comes to the B.P.R.D. There's Sledgehammer stuff, so they're all separated by the different miniseries that they collect. And The Visitor. And then here's the cover with no colors. Then where else you can find Hellboy? And this book, again, retails for $39.99. This one has 424 pages and also has that sewn binding, but the eye is a little bit bigger on this one. Thick, glossy paper makes the colors and the art really pop out. But that, as they say, is that. If you are interested in purchasing these books, don't forget to check out our sponsor, CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online source for collected editions up to 50% off. Retail price. Cheap Graphic Novels prides itself on excellent packaging, so your stuff gets to you in excellent condition, and they have amazing customer service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And for all you Minties that are watching, if you're a first-time customer, don't forget to mention that Near Mint Condition sent you their way for a promotional credit on free shipping on your next order. Now, this is only for US customers. CheapGraphicNovels.com, your source for the hottest books with deep discounts, customer service, and excellent shipping that will keep you coming back for more. And that was the content, the page count, and build of these hardcovers. Let me know in the comments down below if you are picking these up, if you're a huge fan of the mignolaverse or the Hellboy Universe, and where you would put these. Like I said in the video, I already stated where I think they belong, at least on my shelf. And yes, I probably do need to do a reading order of Hellboy, but it's a lot of fun sometimes just to read it, jumping back and forth through different times. Again, this was the Uncanny Omar. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to check out our Patreon and our spread shop. Amazing ways to support the channel. The links are in the description of the video. And thank you so much to our existing patrons. Couldn't do videos like this possible without you all. And more importantly, everyone, stay healthy, stay safe, and much love.